Control Shift.
Control M first to maximize, and then if you hit Control Shift F, yes, great.
And this is not intuitive enough, so I drew the picture of this. First, this is the screenshot of my program, and it looks like this.
Could you enlarge that? You hit the plus at the bottom? Okay, thanks.
It has tabs and it has image icons and it has a scroll. And I draw this image to explain the layout. The first one at the bottom layer is a linear layout, and within it contains two views. One linear layout and the other is the tab host. And in the first top linear layout, I have an edit test and a button. And at the bottom tab host, there still have several layers. The first one is the linear layout, which is vertical, and at the bottom is a frame layout. And on the first linear layout, this is the tab widget, and in the frame layout, there are three repeated scroll view inside its text view. And in my activity, first I created some text views and handlers, which is a class view, so I can reference them in the inner class. And I create a tab host. I declare the tab host and add some tabs into it. And when add tabs, you can specify the header, the text, the header, and resources from the drawable, which is here. This is the images. I couldn't find a way to resize those images programmatically. I have to resize them to resize the image itself.
Could you bring up the screenshot again so that we could see the images? I didn't take that in the first time. Oh, right, okay, yep, okay.
Yeah, those images.
Very fancy.
And create it. And firstly, I activate the first tab, and this is the run method to update to get HTTP messages. Actually, we should look at the three functions here. This is a pen header, and this is a pen content, and this is a pen error. Has three tabs to go into update the messages. And there is another clear. Clear is going to clear all of them. So in my in the runnable class, I started with clear everything, and then to get the header and update a header and update the HTML part. And I think the bottom is just one thing to start a new thread and to put the runnable class into it and then start it.
Okay, so this looks to me like you've closely followed the tab activity example from the Android documentation,
yeah,
which is how I ended up doing it when
exactly.
I did it too.
Yeah.
So could we have a look at your XML again?
Sure.
Okay, so you've got a linear layout and then a tab host in that.
Mm-hmm.
And the structure is tab host, linear layout, tab widget, frame layout, and then each frame layout is a scroll view. Yeah, so that's how I did it. Just copying directly from the tab activity. So, okay, so bizarrely enough, we've had a complete spread of all of the different approaches. And I only thought there was going to be one approach and anyone would be able to do that one. So I'm quite surprised to see the other two. I'm impressed at the persistence of everyone to get these things out. I like your drawables on the top, particularly fancy. Okay, so any other questions about that one? Notice that this code was probably the shortest. then if you're willing to bite the XML bullet, it does get pretty short. But you also have to be willing to live with the fact that you're going to have to keep inflating from views using find view by ID. Sorry, from the XML layout using find view by ID. That's right. What you going to do? Yeah.
How do you tie an XML file that you add to a new activity?
So you mean how do you know which XML file you're using?
No, I know that it's supposed to save and it's supposed to go into r.layout.
Yep.
But it doesn't for me. I just add a new Android XML file and then it's just...
Right, so then you'll have to put it in the appropriate layout directory and give it an appropriate name, and then that will generate r.layout. And then if your new file was Alex, then it should be r.layout.alex that's generated. It could be that you have to generate it with the GUI then. So generate a blank one with the GUI, and then paste your contents into it. See what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, so creating a new one from scratch certainly works. It's just that the content is not what you want. So if you do it that way, you're at least guaranteed that you'll have something working.
Well, I mean, I just right-click new Android. Is that not what you're supposed to do?
Right, that's all. So, thank you very much.
It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, sorry. Okay, so, go on.
Where did you use the handler? The handler? Did you use it inside that thread?
Handle here?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Because as required, we need to update those tabs in another thread. So retrieving the HTML part
So can you
probably.
go down and decode it?
Yeah.
Could you hit Control-Shift-F just to re-indent? Okay, thanks.
And for this part, in here, we actually those functions are right here. I post everything: append arrow, append content, append header. I post it to the handler, so that it is going to run on back. So because I think this part will take a really long time. Here I use a buffer. I use a string buffer, so I append everything to the string buffer at the end of that, and then I append contents.
There's one more, I guess, a question or comment regarding your appends. I had an append for each tab, but then I switched over to the idea of updating just one update tab with the text view. So like the string and then the text view, and so I just have one. Does anybody have any idea about?
So you made it, so there was a single append method and the
Right.
text view was passed in as a parameter.
Any advantage or any of that other than just one less method? Or
I don't think you see much advantage one way or the other when there's only 3 tabs that you don't intend to change very often.
I like this for simplicity. At the same time, I like this for simplicity. I think it's a little clearer than.
But one could also argue that you shouldn't expose the text view references to the code running in the HTTP thread. I mean, then you could sort of go away and create an extra level of indirection and say, okay, we'll label them with constants, which we'll use throughout the program, and then it begins to get a bit heavy for the separation you're trying to get.
Okay.
If you wanted to, what you could do is to just make separate methods for the append, and then they all go to a common one, and then you just use, well, no, that doesn't really help either.
Right. I should have left it the way it was written.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I don't think either advantage has any. Sorry, either approach is obviously the better one. Okay, thank you. Oh, go ahead.
I found lots of examples online about using tab changed listener.
Right, using tab change listener. I'm just repeating it for the online students.
So I don't know when it's proper to use that listener. I thought every time we change a tab, there's something going on. So at first I programmed it this way, but I didn't get it to work, so I programmed it just like what.
So on tab change listener probably isn't very helpful here because you don't want to go away and